beast, I'm a freak when it comes to winning. Eyes on the prize like a television.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. We are talking about fantasy football depth charts for fantasy football 2021. Love this episode. So what are you expecting in this episode? I'm going to walk you through every single team's depth chart and go over the players that are primed to get that workload. So pretty much players to draft. This is a very important episode, guys. So I'm going to give you guys a ton of value here in the episode, breaking down guys that are set to be primed to get a lot of workload and talk about some players that suck as well on the depth chart. So I'm going to be breaking it down because there's a lot of situations where you look at a team, you're like, I wonder who's going to be the starter there. Who is the true wide receiver one there? I'm going to talk about it right here, right now for you guys, okay? Before we get into this, guys, manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. Amazing product. Fit and finish is amazing. They got the Lawnmower 4.0 out. They've got amazing ball wipes. They've got underwear that I personally wear. Love it, man. Doesn't bunch up in your pants. It's amazing, guys. Manscaped.com. Promo code SHOWERLION. Save yourself 20%. Amazing trimmers, navigational lights, skin-safe technology. Go get yourself, treat yourself right now. Manscaped.com. Showerline is that code. Secondly, guys, get the 16-round draft solution. Everything in one spot. First ever and only video training where I walk you through all the optimal players to draft in each round. Sleepers, breakouts, and I walk you through mock drafts. Actually telling you who to draft in each round, all the optimal players, researched by myself. Everything is there for you to help you guys crush your leagues. Okay, guys, thefantasyfootballaccounts.com. Get the 16-round draft solution. I've also linked it here below under the YouTube video. All right, so let's do this. Also, smash that thumbs up, guys. Takes a second of your time, really helps the channel. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe because this is not your cookie cutter sheep type of show. A lot of people, I'd say majority of people giving advice are literally cookie cutter rankings. I've seen it. They're, oh, guys, get my draft guide. Get my draft kit, guys. Just get it. Oh, the rankings. Oh, what are your rankings at? Oh, it's the same players that finished on top last year without any thought process, right? Last year, they all told you Lamar Jackson round 2. There's not one person that objected Lamar Jackson round 2 except for me. There's not one person that objected Michael Thomas top 5 pick except for me. There's not one person that warned you about Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Austin Eckler or Kenyon Drake and on and on and on, or Godwin round 2. Chris Godwin round 2 coming off a pinnacle year in 2019. They all said draft him round 2 because he finished on top. Stupid idiots. That's why people lose their leagues, right? Get the 16-round draft so you guys, you'll never, ever look back. Believe me on this one, okay? So let's talk about the depth charts. Let's break it down. I'm going to rip through all of the NFL teams here and talk about it. So Arizona Cardinals here. I mean, there's a bit of a committee here. Chase Edmonds, James Conner. I'm not drafting any one of those guys. I'm telling you right now. The only person worth drafting on the Cardinals is DeAndre Hopkins. Let's move on here. I mean, there's nothing else to talk about. Rondale Moore, like, do we trust him? I heard he was banged up a little bit. Christian Kirk, AJ Green apparently is doing well in camp. I mean, there's no clear-cut wide receiver 2 there aside from, there's Hopkins and then there's everybody else. Like, I don't trust anybody there. It's a screwy depth chart. I'm not paying a high price for Kyler Murray as well this year. I'm just not sold on Kyler Murray being exceptional, and his ADP is pretty high for me. There's better quarterbacks that are going to finish ahead of him I can get for better value, okay? Atlanta Falcons. This is a disaster here in regards to running backs. They got rookie Javian Hawkins, but is he going to be a solution? We don't know. Mike Davis as the starter. I'm not sold on Mike Davis being a starter anywhere. And a big reason is if he was a starter, he would have started over Christian McCaffrey last year. It's that simple, right? Like, it's that simple. So he's not a true RB1, and that bothers me. He could put up some solid fantasy points. I'm not trusting it, okay? Excuse me. One thing that I do like here is I do like Kyle Pitts and the opportunity here with the Atlanta Falcons, because Kyle Pitts in a prime position to succeed with Julio Jones being gone. Just something to keep on your radar. 157 freed up targets based on the 2019 numbers of Julio Jones being fully healthy. And he's no longer there. Something to think about, okay? So looking at the depth charts here, it's going to be Ridley, it's going to be Pitts, it's going to be Matt Ryan in regards to volume. Baltimore Ravens staying away from this entire offense. Now, you could say, well, J.K. Dobbins is good, Joe. you got to get J.K. Dobbins, man. Like, he's the guy. Like, he's the RB1. Guys, when you have a quarterback that runs for 1,000 yards and 160 plus attempts, 200 attempts, whatever he's going to run for, I'm staying away. And what a disaster here at the wide receiver position here. Now, I think I mentioned that Rondale Moore has been banged up. I apologize. It was Rashad Bateman that was banged up. I heard in practice. What a disaster here at wide receiver. There is no true wide receiver one. And here's the thing. When I look at a scenario, this is something that you guys got to consider when we're looking at fantasy football depth charts, okay? When you're looking at depth charts, if there is a situation where you can't pinpoint who the wide receiver one is, avoid the entire situation, pretty much, right? Or if a rookie comes in, you're like, like, for example, I'll get to the Jets in a second, where Elijah Moore is better than Corey Davis. Like, okay, yeah, all right, I kind of get that. But, I mean, Sammy Watkins, Rashad Bateman, Marquise Brown, what a disaster, man. The only receiver there is Mark Andrews at tight end. I'm moving on. Ravens are a disaster. Buffalo Bills here, Josh Allen, obviously. I mean, what a disaster at running back. Do you trust Zach Moss? Like, he's trash. He's a trash player. So I'm going to probably stay away there. Stefan Diggs, obviously the clear-cut wide receiver one. And that's where you look at the situation. Oh, okay, there's a scenario here where someone could totally be the guy, and that's who you want to draft. You want to get those guys that are big volume getters. Now, mind you, you're going to have to pay a huge draft capital for Stefan Diggs, but will be well worth it. I still think he has not hit his full stride. Love Stefan Diggs, okay? Disaster there at the wide receiver. You got Beasley, Davis, Emmanuel Sanders. Just a disaster of wide receivers there, and hence why Diggs is standing out. Carolina Panthers here, what I'm seeing here is not translating in reality, and what I see is DJ Moore ahead of Robbie Anderson here on the depth chart. That's total bullshit. I mean, we saw it last year. Everybody said DJ Moore round 3. Everybody, except for the counselor. I said avoid DJ Moore. He's a shit player. He's not good. And he busted. Robbie Anderson finished ahead of DJ Moore. Yet, DJ Moore is still sitting ahead of Robbie Anderson on the consensus rankings. What is the justification? I know what it is. It's the sheep. They want to save face. They try to go for the more popular name. They think they've got it right. DJ Moore is not good, guys. Sam Darnold's got that rapport with Robbie Anderson. I can get Robbie Anderson later. Much better value, okay? Again, Christian McCaffrey should be the guy there. Chuba Hubbard was drafted. Who knows what Chuba's going to do? I'm assuming Chuba's going to be near the goal line. Other than that, I don't know. Should be interesting. The Bears depth chart. Taking a look at this, Montgomery and everybody else. Apparently, Damian Williams is doing okay in practice, but he sucks as well. I mean, it's got to be David Montgomery. If they start going by committee here, I'm going to be pissed. But I love the third-round draft value here of David Montgomery. Absolutely love him for that value, okay? He should still be the guy. Cohen won't get started till I don't even know when. He's still banged up. So probably, let's say, week 4, 5, 6. Who knows, right? And even if he does come in, he's not going to be as good as David Montgomery or Williams. And Williams sucks too. I do like Darnell Mooney here as a guy that could connect with Fields. From what I'm hearing, though, Andy Dalton is supposed to be starting, apparently looking good. I mean, it's got to be Fields. I mean, that's what they got to work towards. But Dalton should get the nod early on in the season, which sucks, unfortunately, okay? All right, Bengals here. Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals here. This is one of those situations where what a disaster, guys. Literally, what a disaster. Who is the wide receiver one there? Is it Jamar Chase? Is it T. Higgins? Like, nobody really knows. And it's one of those situations where you're like, do I want to invest early on a guy where I'm not certain? And this is one of those scenarios. So really be cautious here with the Cincinnati Bengals because nobody really knows. I would assume it's going to be Jamar Chase Burrow connection, but nobody really knows, okay? And Joe Mixon, I mean, he is primed to be the guy because there's no one else there. Who is it? Samaj Perine and Chris Evans? Crappy players, right? We don't know what Chris Evans can do, but Samaj P. Ryan, he sucks, okay? So, I mean, Mixon, again, years to wow, so we're not wowed, but is high on the depth chart there, okay? Cleveland Browns, again, what blows my mind here is Odell Beckham Jr. busting 4 years in a row and still sitting higher on the depth chart from Jarvis Landry, which is ludicrous because Landry is the wide receiver one on that team. Disaster there. I'm staying away from that wide receiver core. And then when you look at the running backs, you got Nick Chubb ahead of Kareem Hunt, Kareem Hunt outscored Nick Chubb last year in PPR. Kareem Hunt is the better of the running backs. He's more versatile. He's stronger. He can catch the ball in the backfield. I like Kareem Hunt, more durable, and I'm not investing a first-round pick on Nick Chubb, knowing Kareem Hunt is there. And again, when we're looking at depth charts, again, I'm going to emphasize this, and I want you guys to understand it. When you look at the depth charts, if there is a running back that's just as good on the roster, then you stay away from that other running back, especially early draft capital in that running back, okay, Nick Chubb. Does that make sense? Kareem Hunt is breathing down his neck. Dallas Cowboys, another situation where I'm staying away at wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. From what we're hearing, Michael Gallup may not get his contract renewed, so they might be leaning more CeeDee Lamb. But again, we don't know. Amari Cooper has always been the one. What makes CeeDee Lamb the one? All of a sudden, this sheep are saying, oh, it's CeeDee Lamb all of a sudden. Okay, prove it to me. Like, Amari Cooper peaked at 120 targets. Like, how much targets is CeeDee Lamb going to see? I'm not sold. Like, nobody really knows. So I'm going to stay away from that situation. Broncos here, it's got to be Cortland Sutton. Jerry Jeudy obviously showing good signs in camp there. Javonte Williams should take the job here at running back. They would not have acquired Javonte Williams if they really believed in Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is just not that good. I mean, when you look at the depth chart, you got to look at someone who could emerge, and I think it's going to be Javonte Williams here, okay? Something to keep an eye on. Noah Fant, obviously a tight end there, and Teddy Bridgewater should get the nod, but Locke trying to make a case for himself, okay? Detroit Lions here, they've got no wide receiver here. No, let me repeat this, except for Amon-Ra St. Brown, the rookie, Tyrell Williams, Brashard Perriman. These guys aren't wide receivers, okay? They suck. Years to wow me, and not only am I not wowed, I'm actually throwing up in my mouth. Sucks. That's how bad these guys are. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff's got to throw to somebody. Amon-Ra St. Brown could be the guy there to catch the ball. Obviously, this is why Hawkinson's value is so high this year, because they've got no wide receivers. So Jared Goff going in a situation where he gets a downgrade at wide receiver, but we're going to see if Amon-Ra could be that sleeper that everybody wants at wide receiver and that breakout. Looking at the running backs, DeAndre Swift, not sold. Jamal Williams, got to get some goal line work. Very hard to trust. Packers, I mean, it's clear cut. Adams is the guy there. Robert Tonyan is the tight end there. A.J. Dillon's going to get some work near the goal line this year. Sorry to tell you, Aaron Jones fans, Dillon will get some work with Williams being gone. Dillon will eat this year, okay? Very simple. Texans here, staying away from this entire situation. Apparently, Nico Collins impressing in camp. Rookie wide receiver there. But, again, disaster every way and any way you slice it here. I mean, Deshaun Watson with his off-field drama. David Johnson sucking. Phillip Lindsay being there. Mark Ingram being there. Rex Burkface is there. Wide receiver. Kiki Cutie's there. Kiki Cutie. You know, Brandon Cooks. Anthony Miller. Like, what a disaster. Like, who's the wide receiver one? Who's the quarterback? Who's the running back? It's a big no for me, guys, for Houston Texans this year. Colts, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a disaster at running back. I think Taylor's obviously going to be the guy, but they brought in Marlon Mack. What do you need Marlon Mack for? Why do you need to sign Marlon Mack? Again, you don't need Marlon Mack. The guy can't even stay on the field. Could be a pest here for Jonathan Taylor. Naheem Hines, going to be a pest. T.Y. Hilton, aging. Paris Campbell, Zach Pascal. Pittman should be the guy there. Apparently, Sam Ehlinger and Jacob Eason both fighting for that job to start the season. Apparently, Sam looking really good. And if you guys don't know the story with Sam, apparently I was reading he ended up losing his brother, his younger brother, Sam Ehlinger. Lost his brother. I can't remember his name. I think it's like Jake or something. Look it up. But he lost his brother, so maybe that's a motivation to him. But Sam doing really well in training camp, wishing him the best, okay? Could get the start there over Eason. Jacksonville Jaguars, it's going to be Shark there as the wide receiver one. Should be Travis Etienne getting the third down role. Robinson should theoretically start. I was watching training camp, and I'm seeing Carlos Hyde on the field. I'm like, why is Carlos Hyde even getting reps? He sucks. I'm hoping Robinson comes out, becomes a 3-down back, and Etienne just gets worked in on those passing roles. It's going to be interesting to see, but I'm really, really concerned about this offense as well. Other than Trevor Lawrence, who I think will do well, Chark should be the guy. He had a little finger surgery. He should be good to go week 1. But they've got Laviska Shenault, who's going to be a bit of a pain, and Marvin Jones, who's going to be used a lot in the red zone. So look for Marvin Jones to do what he does, and that's hoard away touchdowns from your wide receiver one. That's going to be a pain in the ass. Chiefs pretty straightforward here. Kelsey, Tyreek Hill are the guys. Darwin Thompson, I don't know if you guys saw that, but he's running up the mountains, showing that he's dedicated and ready to go. So Darwin Thompson, who knows this year, right? But it's going to be the Ehlinger show for the most part. If he gets the volume, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know how much volume Ehlinger is going to get. That's the thing. It's a throw-first team, and that's always a concern. So make sure Ehlinger's at least your RB3 if you can make it happen. He's coming off round 2, which is crazy. Chargers here. Let's talk about the Chargers. I mean, they don't have a wide receiver a running back one. Apparently they think Austin Eckler is a solution. He's not. He showed it last year. He's a backup. They brought in Larry Roundtree, pretty big guy. Hopefully he gets some work this year. We know Justin Jackson and Kelly aren't the solution there. Keenan Allen, obviously a guy that, if staying healthy is going to be solid. Mike Williams can't stay healthy. And I do like Josh Palmer as a sleeper as well, okay? Rams here. Robert Woods, Kupp. It's a coin toss. I think Kupp's the wide receiver one there. And then what a disaster here at running back with Cam Akers being gone. Darrell Henderson, they're saying it's going to be a running back by committee. But who do you got? You got Xavier Jones, Jake Funk. What a disaster at running back here at the Rams. And everybody thinking Matt Stafford is going to be like the second coming of Christ or something like that, man. Like, I don't see what's so special of Matt Stafford at all. I just don't see it. I could be wrong here. I mean, it's a more efficient offense for him, but years to wow me. We're not wowed Matt Stafford. I'm not sold. Raiders here, they have no wide receiver. They've got Ruggs, John Brown, Bryan Edwards, but who's the guy there? Obviously, it's going to be Waller. And I think Jacobs gets the bulk of that volume at running back. Drake is not going to wow us, okay? Dolphins, staying away from this entire situation. Everybody's drafting Gaskin like he is something special. I'm not sold. I don't even think the Dolphins are sold on Tua being the guy. Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, Jalen Waddle. I mean, who's the wide receiver one? Is Tua trusted? I don't trust any of these guys. Maybe Gesicki at tight end as a value later. Vikings, Jefferson, Thielen. I'm not spending a second-round pick on Jefferson. Sorry, you're not going to do it. He was already banged up with the shoulder. Not only that, I got him in the 8th round last year. Not going to be investing that early in Justin Jefferson. Not going to do it. There's no way. Cook, obviously, I think he's going to get hurt again this year. Hasn't finished a season. Man, I mean, Thielen's the best value on this team right now, okay? Patriots staying away from this entire offense. They have no running back. They have no wide receiver. They're suspect at quarterback. Newton should get the nod. Mac Jones could take that job. Aguilar, Jacoby Myers, like who's the guy there at wide receiver? Everyone's high on Damian Harris, but they got Sony Michel. They got James White. This is a place where fantasy goes to die, okay? Not trusting it. Saints, Michael Thomas wants out. He's going to be banged up early in the season. Quarterback's going to be a disaster. Taysom Hill's going to get a lot of that goal line work. Going to steal it away from Kamara there. Saints don't look good right now when you're looking at depth charts, when you're looking at drafting the Saints, okay? Giants, Barkley, prime for a huge workload. Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Slayton. Very hard to trust these guys. They brought in a rookie Kadarius Toney. A lot of this is predicated on the back of Daniel Jones. Do we trust him? I don't know, man. I trust Saquon Barkley. That's it. New York Jets. I know it's weird. Coming off injury, yes, I do trust Saquon Barkley for a bounce-back year. Yes, I do. Jets here. Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman, LaMichael Pirine. All trash players. That's why Michael Carter is, out of all these guys, going to shine. Wide receiver, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Jamison Crowder. What have they done? That's it. Years to wow us. We're not wowed. Elijah Moore is the only bright spot here on the Jets, okay? All right, moving on to the Eagles here. Another disaster of a situation here. Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, Fulgham, staying away from this entire situation. Do not trust anybody here. In fact, the Eagles were flirting with Deshaun Watson. What does that tell you about Jalen Hurts? He's top 10 on the consensus rankings, which is BS. Moving on to the Steelers here. Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Juju. I'd say in that order: Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Juju in that order. Deontay's going to be the guy. He was the guy last year. I don't see anything that changing. Ben trusts him the most. He is the most dynamic of the three. And Najee Harris, no one's going to touch him. Absolutely love him. Seahawks, Metcalf, look for him to step up this year, have a monster year. Chris Carson looking like he's benching more weight than he's ever benched. squatting more than he's ever squatted. Chris Carson looking good in the training room. Is that going to translate to a healthy season? Who knows, right? That's what we're going to have to see. 49ers, Trey Sermon, obviously the bright spot here. We know Jeff Wilson's going to be banged up for the season. Sermon, rookie, could shine this year. Debo, I think, is the wide receiver one there. Everyone high on Ayuk. Debo's the guy there, and you can get him for good value. George Kittle, that's pretty obvious, guys. Buccaneers, disaster. Absolute disaster here. Evans, Godwin, who knows? Brown, they're going to spread the ball around. You know how it is. I'm fading them. Tennessee Titans, everybody high on A.J. Brown, top 10. I say grab Julio if he stays healthy, but he's already showing signs that he's banged up, which is suspect. Henry's the safest guy here along with Tannehill. I'm probably fading both Julio and Brown. And the Washington football team, look for some boom games from Fitzpatrick, McLaurin, and a couple good games out of Antonio Gibson. I'm not sold. They've got McKissick there. They got Barber. They got a bunch of other bums on that team at the running back position. Be cautious there, okay? So, again, this is just a quick overview of the depth charts here, giving you a good sense of my thoughts. Now, you're saying, well, Joe, there's a lot of players you said. Who do you draft? It's all in the 60-round draft, so Sean, the players I would actually draft. But you need to get a sense of the scenarios here. I mean, like I said, like that Cowboy situation, who's the wide receiver one, right? You got the Bengals, who's the wide receiver one? The Jets, is Corey Davis going to step up? Years to us, we're not wowed. I'm going to look at Elijah Moore. It's just giving you that sense and a feel of the depth chart so you guys are able to make better educated decisions when you are drafting these players, okay, guys? It's very important in certain situations like the Houston Texans to avoid because it's an absolute crapshoot disaster, okay? Some of these depth charts do not favor you for fantasy football. It's up to you to look for those Stefan Diggs, the Derrick Henrys, those big volume getters, the Najee Harris of the world, and acquire them on your roster, okay, guys? Very, very important. Study depth charts. Go to the team pages, get the depth charts, study them. You'll be light years ahead of the competition, okay? And I explain all this in the 16-round draft because you'll know which players to draft and when, okay, guys? Smash thumbs up. Get 16 rounds at thefantasyfootballcounts.com. Leave a comment below. Again, just kind of an overview, getting you guys comfortable with the depth charts going into Fantasy Football 2021. Make sure you guys are subscribed, and we'll talk soon. I'm out.